All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from Hop Butcher for the World, and they're out of Chicago, Illinois, and this is the S'mores. So this is an Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate, vanilla, and a graham cracker. It comes in 11.5% alcohol by volume. No IBUs listed. Time of review. And this can is just under 2 months old. I'm going to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to Hop Butcher, more specifically Jeremiah from Hop Butcher for this beer. So big thanks to them. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mail unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies they sent my way. And they sent me 12 beers in total, 6 of which were unique, and 3 of those I'm reviewing on the channel. And this is the third and final of the beer mail. The first 2, which was their Peak Citra. It was a hazy triple IPA brewed solely with Citra hops. Absolutely delicious. Then the second one was the Way in Total Darkness, a hazy double IPA, also absolutely delicious. So this has its work cut out for it as far as, is it going to be the best beer of the box? We will see. Now, full disclosure, I've had this one before. I actually had this one. I shared the other can with some local friends at Brewed and Bottled, my favorite local bottle shop here in the West New York area. They're located in Lewiston, New York. I shared it with the owner, Chris, and a couple other patrons there, and I drank about 2 ounces of it. And all I know is that it was delicious. It had a lot of graham cracker flavor. I gave it a 4.3 out of 5 on Untappd. I rarely do that, like, crack open a secondary can if that's, say, Hop Butcher sent my way before I do the review, but I did it this time. It happened. So I did drink it much colder because I brought it over to Chris's. He put it in his cooler and then we cracked it. So it was pretty cold. So this is more of a proper temperature in my darker beer fridge at 54 degrees Fahrenheit. Also, I just want to mention how awesome the label is. So I'm going to post this hopefully on Sunday, September 7th, which is the first NFL Sunday of the 2025 season. For you sports fans out there, that's a big day. It officially marks the beginning of fall, even though fall doesn't start for a couple weeks after that. But once football is here, I'm all in. And I thought I would post this on the first NFL Sunday because the label here. Now look at the label, right? So, the S'mores, a take on the Bears. If you are a Gen Xer or a millennial that used to watch Saturday Night Live, aka SNL, back in the early 90s, they had a skit called the Bill Swirsky Superfans, where as a bunch of Bears fans, Chicago Bears fans that is, that worshiped Mike Ditka and the Bears teams back then that were good, especially in the mid to late 80s. And this is awesome. It's a s'mores dressed up as Mike Ditka or one of the Bill Swirsky superfans. You had Joe Montana. You had Chris Farley, one of my favorite comedians of all time. You had Mike Myers on there, Robert Smigel, and George Wendt. And those were typically the main people in the Bill Swirsky superfan skit. Then you'd have some of the hosts would come in and there'd be different people. But I used to love that. Da Bears. Just an awesome skit. So I thought, hey, put this all together, put it on Sunday, September 7th, first NFL Sunday. And if you're an NFL fan, tell me, what do you think your team's going to do this year? Obviously, I'm in the Seahawks get-up. This is on purpose because I'm a Seahawks fan. Despite being in Buffalo, New York, born and raised, I'm a Seahawks fan. Long story short is that I was a huge Joey Galloway fan back in the mid-'90s when I was growing up, and I just gravitated towards the Seahawks, and I've been a fan of theirs since 1995. So, we're talking about 30 years, and, my team has won a Super Bowl recently, could have won 2 if they didn't try to let Russ cook, and then he throws an interception, just give it to Marshawn Lynch, you mother effers. We have a Super Bowl. I hope the Bills get a Super Bowl. Even though the Bills are not my favorite team, I still root for them after the Seahawks, and Bills fans deserve a Super Bowl. If you're a Chicago fan from Chicago watching this, you just want your team to be good again. That's all you want, right? I'm with you. I hope the Bears are good again at some point. Anyway, let's crack this one open. We'll read the taste notes at the end if I remember. If not, then fuck me, right? Because that's what usually happens. So the other one was an overfill, the one at Chris's. And these are all over, fucking ridiculous. I love that I'm not going to complain about extra beer, but when this is 11% and you open it up and it goes everywhere, nah, bro. Got the hashtag proper glassware. I'm looking at the time. This is fucking 4 minutes before I even pour the beer. Oh my God, that looks like motor oil. Look at that. Looks like fucking motor oil. I'm not going to pour it all. I'm going to do something like that. Not that I'm going to save it, but it doesn't need to be. Oh my God, dude. This is so fucking. This might be better than when I had it at the. Only pour a little bit more and it needs to fill up the glass. Fuck, I'll pour it all in. I don't know. I said I wasn't going to, and then I did. Oh my God. This thing is fucking crazy viscous. Wow. Okay, throw it over here. Love the label. Even if this isn't great, even though I know pretty sure this is going behind me on the protected wall bottles and cans. I just love the can itself. So what does that look like? Looks like a big, luscious, rich Imperial Stout. in the hashtag proper glassware. So it's pitch black, not even get the fucking contraband flashlight out. Has about 2 fingers of this straight on brown colored head. You could call it, more like a mocha colored head. It looks very creamy, but then it has a couple big bubbles, and you're like, what's going on there? I don't know. But it looks awesome. Yeah, pitch black, can't see through it. Looks fantastic. I don't need to show you anything else. You can't really see it, even if I turn around. Anyway, nose. The problem I always have with s'mores beers, doesn't matter what kind of. It's 6%, 10%, 12%, barrel age, non-barrel age. If it's a stout, if it's a white stout, who knows, right? They usually don't hit on every component in the beer. So either the chocolate's missing, rare. The vanilla's missing, less rare. Graham cracker's missing, definitely the common theme for a s'mores beer is that the graham cracker is not as prominent as I want it. Because when you're eating a fucking s'mores, graham cracker is very prominent. So it's all here. It's rich, fudgy chocolate. It's graham cracker, like a crushed graham cracker, like a graham cracker base of like a cheesecake. And then some marshmallow. And this is pure marshmallow. It's not vanilla. Dude, it just smells awesome. There's some rich, like deeply roasted malt. A little bit of coffee. But, this is one of those beers where the adjuncts are superseding the rest of the beer, which I'm okay with, because if I'm drinking 11.5% beer called The S'mores, has those 3 adjuncts, I kind of want to taste those first. Smells like it's going to be super sweet. Not much else going on. It smells like a fucking s'more, like it does. Let's get into it. Cheers, everybody. Thanks again to Hot Butcher and Jeremiah. Hope this is just as good as I remember being on tap, if not better. Cheers. Yeah. It is boozy. I'm just going to call that out. It's almost 12%. Little bit of stringency on the palate. There's a burning in my throat, into my chest, big warming after that first sip. But I'm okay to excuse that, only because pretty fucking delicious. The chocolate in this is excessively rich to a degree that if you don't like chocolate to that degree, you might be struggling a little bit. Full body, rich, thick, almost syrupy, almost chewing the beer. But I expect that at almost 12%. It's very thick. Definitely a dessert-esque beer. The mouthfeel. It has a nice carbonation, approaching moderate, but still smooth and really creamy on the palate. Now, they're probably using lactose and not putting it on the can. I know Hot Butcher does that. And a lot of breweries do that. If they're not, then kudos to them. But this definitely has the sweetness, the body, the mouthfeel that I associate with lactose in a beer. I feel the base of this is very close to their minted. What the hell's the name of it? Is it just minted? That chocolate mint beer they release every around the holidays in November and December. The base tastes like that. It has a very rich roasty malt quality. There's coffee, and even though there's no mint in here, I'm getting a little bit of minty kind of sensation. It's kind of weird, but that's all up front is that roasted malt character. After that, waves of rich, decadent, fudgy chocolate, 100%. You could say like a brownie batter almost. It has a big, rich chocolate vibe. Then, for me, the vanilla hits about halfway through the palate, and it's more of like a marshmallow, right? This is vanilla, but and I've said this before in other reviews. When I have a beer with vanilla, sometimes it tastes marshmallow, and vice versa, where it's marshmallow and vanilla. I'm definitely getting marshmallow in here, and it's just vanilla, so it's wild. The finish is where the graham crackers hit towards the end. They're prominent, they're big, and it kind of it intertwines with the rest of the adjuncts, makes it cohesive, and makes it turn into a s'more of some sort. Man, this is fucking delicious. It's a big beer. Like I said, the alcohol is noticeable, especially on the finish into my chest. My chest is on fire, a little bit of burning, like going down the esophagus, which is a rarity for a Hot Butcher beer for me, where, like that Peak Citra is 10.5%, 1% less, and it wasn't boozy at all. This is pretty boozy. This does finish with a nice semi-dry kind of finish, mild to moderately bitter. This isn't cloying to me, although it could be for some, and maybe by the time I finish this, it might be too much and too over the top with the sweetness, which it would become cloying. But right now, I'm okay with it. This is a dessert / pastry beer over and over. The mouthfeel is super fucking thick, rich, and decadent. The mouthfeel is spectacular. Yeah, that body is just like... This is a great beer. I gave it a 4.3 off of that 2-ounce cold sample. This is going to be a little bit higher than that. But if we took everything in consideration here, the name, the label, Dan Jetsa killing it, the fact that I love football and I'm ready for the NFL. I'm drinking this literally a month beforehand, reviewing a month beforehand. I'm planning on posting this on, again, Sunday, September 7th. We'll see how that works out. But take everything in consideration as a 5 out of 5, no doubt. But it's not a 5 out of 5, beer-wise. I'm going to give it a nice score, though. So, Dustmores from Hop Butcher, Imperial Stout brewed with chocolate, vanilla, and graham cracker, 11.5%. I'm going to go low 4.5 and go 4.4. Like I said, this might be a little bit heavy-handed with everything. For some folks, for me, nah, bro. I'm ready. I'm good. I'm good to go. This is delicious. So, yeah. Press point availability, well, Hop Butcher sent it to me, so I don't know. But a lot of times when their stouts show up, usually here in the Buffalo, New York area, $20 to $22 a 4-pack. At the brewery, I think it's more $18 a 4-pack, somewhere in that realm. Correct me if I'm wrong, any Chicago folk, or Jeremiah, if you haven't found this review, you won't. But if you do, let me know. But $20 or less would be a steal for this. 20 to 25, I think it's fine. I would be willing to pay up to like $6-7 a can. Yeah, for sure. Availability, it's Hop Butcher, so who knows? Like sometimes they get wide distribution on some of their beers, sometimes they don't. They're on Tavor, they're on Halftime Beverage. They're on a lot of places you can get their stuff. However, if you're in and around Chicago, you can definitely pick up their beer. By the time I post this is going to be available on the fucking, on the streets, as the kids don't say. No, I'd probably not, because at that point it'd be almost 3 months old. But if they ever brew this again, and I think they should brew this one every single year towards the beginning of football season. This one was brewed back in mid-June. I would say that brew this one and then can it like late August. I think it would be perfect. Get people hyped for the NFL season. But I know they have the football and the basketball and the Bulls and whatnot, but down Bulls, down Bears. I don't know. Anyway, if you've had this one before, please post in the comment section. Oh, shit, I almost forgot the tasting notes. Tasting notes, rich cocoa. I said rich, decadent, fudgy chocolate, so I'm fine there. Sweet marshmallow, yes, I said marshmallow. Did I say sweet marshmallow? Maybe. Crushed graham cracker. I didn't say crushed graham cracker, but I said graham cracker. I mean, it's a fucking s'mores. Cocoa, marshmallow, and graham. Listen, Jeremiah, Hop Butcher, these might be the most generic tasting notes ever. It's like you made a s'more. You made a s'mores beer. Let's talk about the chocolate. Let's talk about the vanilla. Let's talk about the graham cracker. But the sweet marshmallow, crushed graham cracker. I did say crushed graham cracker, like almost more of a cheesecake vibe. Anyway, I'm shutting this one down. Again, if you've had this one before, comment section. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here in the Beer Patrol. Huge thanks to Hop Butcher and Jeremiah for this one. I'm shutting it down. If you are watching this, because I'll post this in the morning of NFL Sunday, hopefully your team does well. And hopefully the Seahawks with Sam Darnold at the helm will do better than with Geno Smith. I'll say this, a little bit longer review like always. I was fine with moving on from Geno Smith as a Seahawks fan. I think he had a ceiling, and the ceiling wasn't the Super Bowl, so I'm fine with that. Sam Darnold, who knows? Is he a pretender? Is he a contender? I don't know. He had a great season last year until the playoff, like late season until the playoffs. I'm willing to take that risk to see if you have something there, a franchise quarterback, because I don't think Geno Smith was it. But yeah, I don't know. I hope he does well. As far as Geno Smith goes, I hope him and Pete Carroll over and the Raiders do well. Raiders fans are a rowdy bunch, but I hope they do well. It's been a while since they've been pretty good, and I think Pete Carroll and Geno Smith will definitely get them in the playoffs at some point. That's my own take. I don't think they'll go far, but get them back to the playoffs, at the very least. I'll be rooting for them. Anyway, going to shut this one down. Till the next one. Cheers.